Hi everyone, my name is Vashana McKendrick and this is my mastery vlog for script production and analysis. This month has been a little crazy for me and I've learned a lot, so I'm kind of excited to go over what I've learned with you. So my original goals for the class were to become a better screenwriter. In undergrad, I really struggled with that. I really didn't really comprehend how to write deep characters, to write characters that meant something, that were impactful, and I really used to struggle with dialogue. This class overall has really helped me to craft stories and overall leave an lasting impact with my characters. I think I made a lot of good progress on my goals. I don't necessarily think that I'm the best screenwriter. I don't think that was the intent of the class, but I do think I'm a stronger writer, and I think I'm getting a stronger understanding of how to really develop characters from beginning to end, specifically with the use of like character IDs and the character grids. I think that was one of the biggest things that kind of helped me in this course. Being able to develop an entire character's backstory and their needs, their wants, their zodiacs, like every little thing to make the character themselves, I really do think will help me create characters in the future, and it did definitely help me when I made characters for class. I gravitate towards very character-driven stories and emotional stories, and I really have learned I like lighthearted stories. I don't want to stay heavy too long, and another big thing is that when it comes to stories, I don't need everyone to have a happy ending. I don't need a quick resolve. I don't need everyone to find their knight in shining armor, because that's just not what life is like. When it comes to these stories, sometimes a one-time encounter with a person is all you need to change as a character. So I try to mimic that with the stories that I've been writing in class so far, that like none of my stories, or none of my characters rather, have found, like they haven't found a truly happily ever after, but they've gained their one next step to a better tomorrow. And I think that was really important for me as a writer. I need to learn how to write under pressure. My biggest problem is that I would panic and I have no story. For example, we'd have class on maybe Wednesday and the deadline would be Thursday or Friday, and my brain would blank until about 2 or 3 hours before the deadline at midnight on Friday. So that's just something I need to work on, and like maybe just writing more and more on a daily basis, and just like writing those little, there's an activity that we learned, I think around week 1, where she would say you have, I think, about 1 minute to kind of write about a character or write all these different things in order to kind of just get thoughts out and do that activity more and more often. So I think that I probably need to do that on a daily basis, like once a day, in order to kind of get used to writing quickly. And so that pressure won't be so heavy when it happens, when deadlines come across. So I think this class really helped me when it comes to pitches and making sure that I maintain professionalism. For one of the first times ever, our first big pitch for a story, I completely blanked. I've never really had that issue. So to blank in the beginning of class and not be able to recover in the moment was really hard for me. Again, I was sick. However, not being able to bounce back, it did something to me, I think, mentally. So I think making sure that I don't try to wing it in class for that presentation, I really think I kind of tried to push the information into my brain the night before, which is why it kind of just flew out my mouth and flew out my ears and my brain when I tried to start talking. So this class kind of taught me not to rely on my think on a whim kind of personality when it comes to presenting. So making sure that I really stay prepared and like really immersing myself in the story so that I can properly advocate for the stories I'm trying to sell in a pitch. Read more. There was a discussion in our class when it came to fully immersing ourselves in our degree program, that when we talk about a bachelor's versus a graduate program. It's just a different kind of energy and magnitude and mindset you have to have. So I think the biggest thing I would do and tell my younger self is to immerse myself deeper than I already am right now. That if I'm in script writing, to do everything related to script writing that I could think of, in order to make sure that I'm giving myself enough tools and resources and to give myself the best shot to be the best student I can be and to be the best creator I can be. Because again, this program is only 12 months. So I want to make sure that I'm giving myself as much information and as many opportunities to succeed as possible, because once life happens, those successes and failures can really be impactful to who I am as a creative. So I'd rather fail here, so I could succeed better in the industry. I will definitely be rewriting my filmmaking, my FCP project. Looking at my FCP script versus my most recent 6-page script for this course, leagues apart, which is great because I see character growth in a month, which is amazing. But being able to change my script lost and found and take that knowledge and wisdom that I gained here and being able to add more depth to the characters, to add more depth to my homeless man character, more depth to Keith, more depth to the wallet owner, so that it's not just a, hey, I'm a wallet owner, okay, bye. So that there's purpose with each character, and being able to sell that properly for the scripted story. Overall, this class has been amazing. I think one of the biggest takeaways outside of the script writing fundamentals, the biggest thing I took away was the artist date, which I really want to highlight. In my presentation today, I talked about the fact that self-care has been an issue for me because self-care has seemed to be selfish. But these artist dates and making time for myself to, number one, decompress, but also turn my brain off so that I can get things out that don't need to be there. But on top of that, be able to make space for more information as the weeks go on. I think it's really important. And one of my biggest things, I finally made my Lego set, my first Lego ever, which was really fun. And this was so cute and so fun. And I said that I would try to do this monthly. So I don't know who's gonna pay for it, but somehow Legos are gonna just end up in my house and it's gonna be great. But yeah, that is one of the biggest things that I've taken away, I believe, from this class. And I've really gained confidence in writing and my storytelling, and that this class has been very validating in the types of stories I tell, that the stories I tell are great, and then they will have some kind of audience. I think the words of my stories have great bones were used. So that's great because, you know, the great bones, when they talk about great bones when building a house, those are normally the strongest houses. So I take it as a really high compliment. So it was really encouraging, and I felt good to be seen as the different kind of stories I tell. So thank you for joining me on this journey. This is only month 3 of 12, and I can't wait to see what's next, because up next we have directing talent. So I'm very excited. Thank you for listening.